Let's see. Hey, looky there. Looks like we're up. Looks like we're going. And it would appear as though we have a show. All right. Kind of getting rolling here. Welcome to the show, Sunday Morning. Thank you for coming by. Obviously, as per usual, I am checking on the YouTube here so I can get this new feed up when it comes and get myself a viewer. Because, you know, everybody wants a viewer now and then. But not showing up yet with them. But we'll keep looking into it. Who knows? I know it takes a little while to get over there to YouTube. But checking things out. There we go. Fired up, hot. We're running. All right. Well, that took too long, didn't it? Guess I should have some of this shit worked out before I sit down and get going. But not the case on a Sunday morning this week. So welcome to the show, Life and Music. You know, this one's going to be a bit different, sort of. I don't want, I wasn't looking for, didn't set out to, didn't intend on, didn't plan on a political sort of show in any nature whatsoever with this channel. This is about music. It's what it's supposed to be about, music. And playing music, learning music, talking about music, being involved in everything, something other than that goofy shit. And that's not how it is today. That's not how it is this week. And there's no way I can't say something. And I know, you know, fuck. I got 4 or 5 people that watch these videos. It's not like anybody's going to hear what I have to say, but I'm going to say it. You know, there was a guy named Charlie. And I heard a lot of what he had to say. I never met the guy. Never knew the guy. He seemed like a pretty smart kid to me. He seemed like a guy that had his shit together and kind of knew the path he was on. I don't see what was so wrong about saying that having a wife and some kids and trying to live a decent life was bad. I don't get it. And, you know, it bothers the shit out of me for some reason that I really have yet to put a finger on. You know, having the same ideas, some of the same ideas and opinions and the same viewpoints as that gentleman had, I have lost things in my life. You know, I'm relatively certain I have 50% of my children that won't speak to me and haven't for years because of whom I chose to vote for once. And then all kinds of other shit stacks up on top of that. But there's some portion of me that at least believes that to be the truth. Whether it is or not, I don't know, because I can't get an answer from the other individual involved. But having had those opinions and having some of those opinions and agreeing to some degree with what that guy Charlie had to say, you know what, have spent goddamn years turning my fucking radio down because I don't know about these people next to me and what kind of goofy motherfuckers they are and what kind of shit they're going to have to say about what I'm listening to. And it doesn't come from people who believe decent things. It doesn't come from people on the right side of this issue. It only comes from one fucking group. And we all goddamn know it. And we're all goddamn sick and tired of it. And you know what? So am I. I'm tired of having to turn my fucking radio down because I choose to live in Colorado. I shouldn't have to worry about some asshole screaming at me because I think having a family and children is not the worst way to live. Because I don't believe if you cut your dick off, you're now a woman. And believe me, this comes at you from a man who's made every motherfucking decision that he could make wrong. I have done some dirty, nasty fucking shit in my life. There's been times when that little devil on your shoulder looked at me and said, whoa, 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 dude, are you sure you want to do this? And I still believe what I believe. Just because I can't choose, I haven't made the choices to live it correctly and done nearly as well as that guy named Charlie did, doesn't mean I don't think it's right. But to kill a guy for what he has to say, simply for what he believes, I just don't fucking get it. And it only comes from one side. One group. And it is ridiculous to me, and I don't understand how people don't see it for themselves, that one group then blames it on us. Well, you people need to be quiet. You people need to calm your rhetoric. You people need to calm your tone. Police yourselves. Motherfuckers, you're the ones doing it. I'm tired of this shit. It's fucking ridiculous. You know, I got a dog. About a year ago, my dog had an epileptic seizure. I didn't know what to do. I picked him up to try and care for my dog. Love this animal that loves me. And the dog bit me. Fine. No big deal. It happens. I don't care. He's scared. He doesn't know what's going on. I probably should not have picked him up and put my face right next to his. I hold the blame in this scenario. I went to the hospital to get some stitches. And as I said, I live in Colorado, which used to be a fantastic state, but has been destroyed, completely destroyed by leftist morons in Denver and Golden and Boulder that think this shit works. They've ruined our state, destroyed it. Anyway, I went to the hospital, and the person behind the desk handed me a piece of paper, and this is no fucking bullshit. A third of that piece of paper, one goddamn third of a standard piece of paper that you get at the doctor's office, covered what I thought my sex was, what I thought my gender was. Fuck you. If you can't tell the difference between a dick and a pussy, you are not going to treat me medically. What the fuck is wrong with you? And we have put up with this shit for years. Years. And these assholes come out and kill somebody who says, hey, maybe you should think a little bit different. Change my mind. Tell me why I'm wrong in believing that you're wrong. And they fucking killed him for it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And this is, this has been one of those weeks where it has been extraordinarily difficult for the music to kind of pull things together and hold you through it. And it has, and it will continue to do so. And I don't get it. For a million reasons, I don't get it. I don't understand why it bothers me so much. I never met him. I agree with what he says. I never met him. I don't know why it bothers everybody else so much. I think maybe because we finally are just fucking tired of it. Just sick and fucking tired of douchebag left-wing fuckstains that tell me how goddamn tolerant they are and how fucking inclusive they are. If you believe every single motherfucking thing that they fucking think, which changes every 13 goddamn seconds, and none of it is fucking logical. Not one goddamn piece of it is fucking logical. And maybe that's why everybody's a little pissed off now. Maybe that's why everybody's a little worked up. I don't know. But I never wanted my channel to be about this. This channel is supposed to be about music. I should not have to come on here and talk about a man who was killed in front of his wife and his children. And I know that shit happens every day. People get killed. Dads don't come home. Moms don't come home. I get it. Kids don't come home. It happens. In stupid, senseless ways all over the place. Generally, you don't do it on TV. And the worst part is these motherfucking douchebag scum bucket motherfuckers that come out and say how good it is and how nice it is and how fantastic and how thrilled they are about it. What kind of a worthless hunk of shit are you? What kind of a depraved, worthless human being would say something like that? What if it was your fucking dad? What if it was your brother? What if it was you? And it shouldn't go that way. But, you know, if it did, it did. I mean, at some point, maybe that's something that people have to think about. I don't think it's the right thing. I don't think anybody should do that kind of shit. I don't think it's a good idea. I think there's a million ways to get around any sort of violent actions. I think that using your brain is probably a whole lot smarter, obviously, and probably a whole lot better. But I don't know. It boggles my mind. I just cannot understand. I just don't get it. And hopefully this is the last ever show on this channel that has anything at all to do with things other than music. And how does this all tie together? How does this all come to music and life? Well, there's always times in your life when you think, man, it would be so cool to be able to crank out a tune, write your own song for the girl that I'm fixing to marry, or that kid that, you know, just turned 5, or whatever. We all, you know, anybody that aspires to be a musician thinks like that at some point. And that's kind of probably where this ties together. I found myself the other day sitting with a guitar, just kind of strumming, trying to get chord changes down and various picking styles and picking speeds, you know, and patterns, up, up, down, 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 up, that kind of thing. And I couldn't help but think of how I just wanted to get something together for Charlie. And I still wish I could. I've heard a lot of the songs, some of these other songs that folks have put out. They're pretty good. Just kind of, to some degree, drives you to want to be a better musician. But if you watch the show on Friday night, you'll see the spot where I made the decision. You'll see. Check it out. Give the show a watch. You'll see the moment in the show where I decided that this is what this morning had to be. That today needed to be about Charlie. You know what? I've been thinking about a separate channel to talk about stuff like this. Kind of since I started this one. Geez, since before that, long before. I can remember conversations I had with a friend of mine 25, 26 years ago about how do we get a radio show? You know, he was a left guy, I was a right guy. It's quite a bit different back then in terms of left and right. And yep, I don't. And maybe it's time to do that. Maybe it's time to go ahead and start another channel for that. I don't know. I still don't know about that one. How do you exist in a society as a group where, you know, 50% of people are going to believe one thing, 50% are going to believe another, even if those numbers are, even if it was 30, 30, and 30, fine, whatever. Each one of those groups is going to have their percentage of wackadoodles, right? Every one of them. It just seems like in the last few years, the nutcases have gone even nuttier. I'm sorry to say this. Ronnie Reagan got it wrong 50 fucking years ago. He should have kept the goddamn mental asylums open. Just because it wasn't nice and friendly doesn't mean it wasn't good for society as a whole. Because what do you do now with all those people? You're still going to have the same percentage. If the percentage of the population is, let's say, 5% of mentally incapacitated people, you're still going to have that 5% today. Just because you close the mental asylums doesn't mean we're not going to have that 5%. You still got that 5%. And given that the increase in population, that 5% has gone up in numbers as well. And what do you do with them? You give them medicine. Medicine, quote unquote. Medicine. Most of the people that pull these crazy shootings like this are on how many of those? At what point do... Goddamn, at what point do you look at the root of the weed in your yard and take care of that as opposed to the part that you see sticking up above the grass? I just don't fucking get it, man. I just simply don't get it. And I really, honestly, truly, I really hope that this is the kind of quote-unquote turning point that a lot of people have been saying the last few days, and that people wake the fuck up and see what in the fuck that group has been doing for years. Maxine Waters talking about jumping on people at a gasoline station. I mean, how can you tell me that the shit you've been saying on TV for the last 10 years doesn't matter now, and that we, as the right-hand side of this argument, need to calm down what we've been saying? At how much motherfucking longer is it going to take for people to wake up and realize that they've been lied to by the guy on TV, and obviously by the morons on TikTok and every other fucking Instagram, YouTube, idiots like me, for fuck's sake. So, you know, there's always some glimmer of hope that maybe this is the thing that wakes people up and says, whoa, 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 dude. No. I can disagree with you and I can talk to you. It's not that big of a deal. Good Christ. I mean, so, yep, that's it. That's it. Charlie was a good guy. There was no reason for that to happen to him. You know, there's no reason for that to happen to any person who simply sits and talks. Never. It's bad optics. It's bad policy. It's bad operating procedure. It's lacking in so many things. You know, it's lacking in moral clarity. It's lacking in moral fiber. It's yeah, it's about right. That's about fucking right. And I don't want to deal with the other half anymore. You know, I don't want to deal with the other half anymore. I have been thinking about that the last several days. Obviously, there's a couple of people in you know, that float around through my world, and I just I hate to even think it, you know, but I've been somewhat preparing for when I see them since this happened, because I'm almost certain that there's going to be something that falls out of that individual's mouth that's going to force a response from me, because I no longer am going to turn down my radio at the stoplight. If you don't like Steven Crowder, I don't fucking care. Not my fucking problem. You know, I don't give a shit. You don't like Tim Pool? Fuck off. I don't care. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not going to walk on eggshells and walk around your fucking feelings, you liberal piece of shit who has skin thinner than a fucking gossamer wing. I mean, fuck you, you snowflake piece of fucking trash. You know, you hear all these fucking arguments all the time. All these people talking about the First Amendment. Let me say this, because I've never heard this argument out there. And dear God, if it is worth a shit, clip it, send it to somebody, get it out there, because this is the argument that I make about the First Amendment. Yes, it absolutely affords me the right to say whatever the motherfucker I want, pretty much whenever the motherfucking one I want to say it. What I want, when I want, for the vast majority of the time. Perfect. It allows you that same, gives you that same ability. Great. But you know what it doesn't say? The implied part of that everybody fucking forgets? By you being able to say whatever you want pretty much whenever you want it, and me being able to say whatever I want pretty much whenever I want, you know what that breeds? The absolute guarantee that you will be offended. Get over it. That's the point of the First Amendment. Not that you can say anything, that you will absolutely guaranteed be offended and dislike what somebody else has to say. Too bad. And killing somebody over it is stupid. Just flat out stupid. There's not another word to use for it. Stupid. So, happy Sunday, guys. Love on your dog. Love on your wife. Love on your kids. And let's hope it maybe gets a little better. Let's hope maybe folks will decide they don't want to be involved with that group either. And maybe more and more people just kind of walk away from them and the ostracization of their own kind. And us in public saying, no, you're not going to say that. Fuck you. And doing it in public and making sure they understand in public that they're no longer going to be able to walk all over me and my thoughts, my opinions, my rights handed to me by afforded to me by the Constitution. Given to me by God, for fuck's sake. And I'm not even, I'm not even like a Bible-believing Christian. But I damn sure know there's something bigger and smarter and far more vast than I can imagine that runs the show. If I do have to answer that individual, I'd certainly like to have my list of stupid things be a lot shorter than the list of decent things. So, yeah. All right, guys. Happy Sunday. I'm going to go smoke a half a pack of cigarettes and 3 or 4 bowls and kind of try to let things loose. Because, hey, you know what? Sometimes. See? And here's the goddamn point of the argument. This is the motherfucking penultimate part of my argument. I live in a ridiculous, stupid blue state. But that means I can legally go buy some pot and sit on my front porch